started out in the morning. This is really day 2 because we camped out in Valley of the Gods. And from here we get the, there's a steep climb out of the valley, and I'll show you that when we get there. So we're coming up on this cliff area here, which probably looks pretty small in the picture, but there's this huge cliff there and it's straight up and down, and when you're driving up to it, you're like, we're just driving right into a wall, but there's a road that actually goes up that. And it's remarkable because it doesn't look like there could be possibly a road that goes up that sheer cliff. It just looks like it goes straight up. And they dug a road out of that cliff. It goes up all the way to the top. Pretty awesome. All right, now that we're closer, can you see the road? Well, I can't. Well, we're close enough. It's right in front of us. And I think I see like a ledge, but I don't see a road, but it's there. This is that steep grade going up the cliff. You can see the cliff is steep there on the side. We're just going straight up the cliff. Pretty awesome experience. It's really not very narrow, but you know, if a semi truck was coming, which I think they go up and down this, you'd have to take the little pullouts. Let them by, but everywhere else a couple cars could fit through easy. Look like, where does the road go? It's like going right into this wall. Seems nuts, but that's what it looks like all the way to the top. Pretty cool. And it feels super smooth because this silt on the road is so soft and powdery that you just kind of ghost along. But I tell you what, having to follow this is unbelievable. There's just a massive dust cloud behind me. It's really, really bad, but super smooth. Just because it's like probably 2 inches of just silt. If it were wet, I think it would just be like pancake mix. It would just be slippery. Pretty little, it's like we're coming off a mesa or something. Pretty nice. This little trail reminds me of Disneyland. It's like the cars ride on Disneyland with the big rocks and stuff. It's pretty cool. Alright, so now we're out in this big valley. I call it a big valley. Look at those mountains. I'm sure on the camera just looks like a little ridge. And then you start looking at it, like even for me looking at it, it looks like a little ridge, and they look how big those massive rocks are. And it's just hard to get the scale of just how massive that whole cliff range is. Pretty awesome coming through. You also get the feel that you're way out here, because we've been on this road for hours and we just keep going and going and going. Right, this road just keeps changing. We're on different roads all the time, but like this one, check out that rock formation that kind of comes out over the road. Pretty awesome. Pretty narrow road.
See the canyon off to the left?
I do. That's pretty awesome. Pretty nice canyon there. Pretty cool road. Just gotta watch out for other cars. Pretty narrow road, pretty windy. These switchbacks are crazy. They're so tight. Just turn back, you don't even know it's coming up, and all of a sudden it's like, you gotta turn. And I'm just hoping that I don't run into another car. Come up on another car. Like, you can see straight down, 2 switchbacks straight down from there. Wow. Like just off the edge, you knock the rock off, you hit another car. That's crazy. Coming. Get an eye out. This part is at least wider. You can pull out there, pull out there, pull out there. It's like, that makes it pretty easy. But that other last section, there was nowhere to pull out, so you'd have to back up. Alright, we're starting day 2. It feels like day 3, it's day 2. And we're kind of working our way through the aspens and that. We're at about, I think we camped at about 8,000 feet. We're about 7,600 right now. And we're going to go up to about, I don't know, 10 or 11, I think, today. A lot of the trees are starting to clear. We're at 9,600 feet. And we're, the highest we've been now, I think it was 98. But we're still going up. I can see the road way up there on the mountain. So we are still headed up. We are on La Salle Mountain. And these trees are all losing their leaves, so it's like we just went through like the full season or something. It's really cool. And there's cloud cover, so it seems a little darker and almost like winter's coming. So looking up at this big mountain, we're over 10,000 feet right now. 10,200 feet, 10,129 feet, and that is a tall mountain. That's pretty impressive to be looking up so high at a mountain when you're already at 10,000 feet. Anyway, we took a short little detour, just a tiny little detour that went over to an overlook, and this overlook has dinosaur tracks that go right off a cliff, and you can tell they're dinosaur tracks. I mean, it's like that are a chicken the size of a house. And we're on our way to Onion Creek at this point. All right, so this is the Narrows we're coming to. Onion Creek Narrows is what they call it. You wouldn't be getting through here. You drive through the creek, that bridge right there. Before that bridge was
Well, that's quite deep.
Alright guys, that's the end of Onion Creek, and we are on day 3. Depending on what map you look at, if you look at the original BDR map, we're still on section 2. If you look at the updated, you know, the first one from like 2012 or 13 or something like that, they're different. So now it shows that this is section 3, and we're partway through section 3. And we're headed to Green River. Not to be confused with Green Acres. Anyways, on our way. So, we've made it out of that area. Now we're in a new area. I guess we're going under a trestle here. The places this BDR takes you. For your quick update, we have finished section 3. We are in section 4. We're still on day 3. But section 4. And, so we just left Green River about 22 miles ago. Headed out into the desert. It's getting pretty late. This says 3:29, but it's 4:29. It's almost 5 o'clock. The sun's going to go down in about 30 minutes. And I didn't really want to camp out in the middle of the desert, but I think that's what we're going to do. Just wait till the sun probably hits the hills, and then we'll look for a campsite, because no need in sitting out in the desert in the sun. Day 4, I think it is. Yeah. Road was washed out over there, so we got to come up this little ridge. There we go. And you can see over here where the road is washed out. It's supposed to go right through there, but it's completely washed out. No big deal. This canyon is just gorgeous. We came out of 9 Mile Canyon and been going up this dirt road. I would never think of, hey, let's turn up this road. It looked like it went to somebody's house, and we've been going for miles and miles and miles. All right, we are winding our way down out of the mountains, and this is day 4 for us. This is section 5 of the Utah BDR, according to the newest maps. And if I'd already said so, there's a discrepancy between the old Butler map and the new files that are downloaded from the BDR site. So this says section 5. I don't know what it says on. I thought it said section 4 on the BDR map. But anyways, we're getting down there, starting section 6 in about 2 miles or so. But section 6 has fires in it, so we're going to try and look that up when we get down to the bottom. If so, we'll have to bypass that, and we'll see what comes up after that. All right, we are in day 5, section 7. Last section of the Utah BDR. You're going to hear what happened to section 6. Section 6 is closed. There's a huge, huge fire. Man, we really wanted to go on that section, but we kept checking the fire updates, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And as we closed in on it, you can see the water bombers. There was like 7 of them going down to this lake. I hope that's an exaggeration. I thought there was 5, but whatever. 5 to 7 of those bombers coming in to pick up water and go up and fight that. So we drove around, went out to Highway 40, out to Highway 80, and then into Wyoming, where we start section 7. All right, last section of the Utah BDR. We are back in Utah. We just finished airing down our tires. We're running 25 PSI for this trip. There's nothing really extreme on this trip. In fact, I've used 4-wheel drive twice. I don't think it's totally necessary, but the quick way to turn off traction control is just to throw it into 4-wheel drive, and then for real sandy sections, and then it works better for some like steep sandy sections. The traction control just keeps cutting the power, so just throw it into 4-wheel drive. So I only had to do that twice. And one thing that I am grateful for is that far part of Utah, they actually have trees. Look at this. I'm sorry if you're from Utah, but man, oh man, you really start missing missing trees when you're on this BDR. And here they are, almost to Idaho. As we drive through this forest, I was going to mention a couple things about driving or riding a BDR, and it occurred to me when I was telling somebody about doing some of the BDRs that we've done on our motorcycles. It was like the experience of doing it is a tour on your motorcycle or in your car. It's not like going somewhere to see something. You need to have the mindset that you're going to be driving and looking at stuff, not going somewhere, stopping and doing a bunch of stuff, and that's your location. So we spent, like, to do this in a car, each section took us about 9 hours of driving. And so you've got, a few spots where you can hop out and take some pictures, use the bathroom, and then keep moving again. And you just keep moving. If you want lunch, do a quick lunch and keep moving. You don't stop for an hour and have lunch, otherwise now it's going to be 10 hours in the car. And if you stop for 30 minutes somewhere, that makes it 10. It just adds up, right? So that's, I think, an important factor to looking at doing one of these BDRs, is you need to be comfortable, or whoever's coming with you, comfortable traveling while you're looking. That's the last part of the Utah BDR, is to get the Idaho state line. We're working our way around the lake to get to the Utah-Idaho state line. I see it on the map here, and I see the sign up there. You see that blue little sign coming up? It says Idaho. Let's see if I can stop right there. Not a great place to stop.